Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's doing really well. Hope everybody's doing very, very well. How's everybody doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, guys. Afternoon. Where's the afternoon? Is it for you guys? Um, Very early morning, obviously, in New York, morning in London. Where's the afternoon for everybody here? Glenn, where are you at? Uh, oh, my sneezing is gonna start. Sorry. Oh, he's in Australia. Wonderful. All right. Good morning, guys. Man, Tuesday morning. Already took a profitable trade in Bitcoin on the first scalp over here. We're going to talk a little bit about in Brazil. Hey, Pilar, everybody, nice to have you. Who's trading? I'm actually curious. Who's trading Bitcoin these days? Anybody? Let's do a poll as we start out. Are you trading Bitcoin? That should be an interesting poll today. Let me know. Okay, so those of you who are just joining us, it's 4 o'clock in New York. I think 9 o'clock in the morning, London, and wherever else you are in the world. We're going to start with Bitcoin, but we're going to trade gold, and we're going to trade NASDAQ as well if we get a chance. Here's gold setup. Here is Bitcoin. I'm going to run you through my setup, which is really interesting, and it uses all these proprietary tools that are totally available to you here. Let me see if I can give you the free. Let me see if I can give you this. Yeah, here we go. I just hi, good morning, the Green Hippo. Okay, so Bitcoin by far has been the most fun asset to trade by far, and we trade it in a very unique way. We scalp it. We trade it for small size trades over and over and over again. You could literally do this 24 hours a day if you wanted to. I only get to do this with you about an hour in London, but I'm going to show you exactly how you could do this by yourselves with the tools that I provide for you guys, and hopefully you guys will use it really well. So Bitcoin in every asset that we have is traded in this way. It's using my special BFF scalping indicator. Now you're looking at my MT5 platform, but it's also available on the MT4 platform. We'll set up. Oops, let me bring that over here. That's the wrong place. Here's my MT4 platform. This is NASDAQ on MT4. We'll set that up as well when we have a chance to talk about NASDAQ. But NASDAQ and generally U.S. indices are very, very quiet this time of the day. So all the action is in Bitcoin and in gold. And we're going to talk a lot about gold and everything else. Anyways, my proprietary system has two components to it. It has the execution applet, which is totally free to you guys to test out. And if you like it, in order to keep it, to get it forever to use in any kind of trading situation, all you need to do is simply open up an account with my friends at ACAP, who sponsor us very nicely all the way through here. So let me. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. Ain't tight. Let me see if I make sure that I have this. Yeah, let me put this one in here. Okay. Oh, that's fine. This is a chance for you guys to see how I actually do my setup. which should be very cool. Okay, so we'll double enter into this position just for fun. So my setup is really simple. I use kind of like a dashboard approach with 4 charts, same chart, 1 minute chart on Bitcoin, but each chart has a different value in terms of volume on it, in order for us to be able to trade this with incredible probability of success. So first of all, with Bitcoin, we're looking to scalp 100 points on a position, right? I'm going to go, hang on a second. I'm just going to duplicate this position, so we'll just have 2 positions on like this, and this will keep our tabs on here. So I'm long Bitcoin right now because we're in uptrend, and because I like the way the chart looks, and I'll explain to you what I'm doing. But the important point to understand is that the first trade is never the last trade. The first trade is only just the beginning. If your trade doesn't work, if it goes against us, we have all sorts of repair possibilities to make the whole trade cycle successful. That's really the key to how I trade. It's the key to why, you guys, if you watch my past lives, you see that, every single time last week we won, the week before that, every single day we won. In any instrument that we trade. This is just unique to Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is just the greatest example of this that you will ever see. So, and, notice by the way that it's to show you one very cool thing. You see how my whole P&L turns positive over here? Watch what I can do. I can just go close all, and my whole P&L, I closed out my whole position, even though one position was a little bit negative, the other position was net positive. My whole P&L was net positive for the day. So you can just go over here into the history, and you see I'm just net positive on the P&L for the whole day in closing this out. So the idea of what I do is, first of all, I look for obviously great signal entries into my things. I'm using MetaTrader instead of CTrader or TradingView. This also comes if you're going to open an account with ACAP. You will also get the TradingView indicator, which I have. This is actually a much more sophisticated indicator in TradingView that is a MetaTrader, but it's the same. It provides the same kind of signals for us to trade with. And I'll explain to you the full structure on TradingView. But we trade because obviously you want the execution to be as fast as possible on MetaTrader. So this is the same idea replicated in MetaTrader, along with a very cool a FlashTrader tool, which I created and developed, that allows you to manage all these trades simultaneously with instant entry, instant exit, and complete and total risk without you having to think about it, because the risk is all preset. We preset the risk. All the stops are in place. The moment we click the button to go buy and sell, and everything else is all in place. I gave it up a little bit too early. I had a feeling we were going to have a nice little rally here on the move. So let's just again, I'm gonna chase this trade. Not my favorite way of doing it, but all right, we'll chase it. Let's just chase it for fun, because I think we still have a little bit more juice to go in Bitcoin. But the point being is, the way I trade and the way the whole system works is, we're using small size, instant order execution with my applet, and very tactical entries all across the board, in order to ensure that every single trade cycle, not every single trade, but every single trade cycle resolves positively. And the general game plan here is, if you can resolve 5-10 trade cycles in a period of an hour and a half, you've made very consistent, very smooth money without really incurring a lot of heat. And I think people always like, at least I do, the idea of steady and consistent growth rather than spiky up and down growth. Now, if you want to trade this for thousands of points and then also lose thousands of points when things go wrong, this is not the system for you. This is a system for people who want a couple of hours a day of steady, consistent income that they can try to achieve by using great risk control, great entries, and more importantly, the best possible tools to make it happen. You cannot run the system without these tools, because these tools is what makes it so easy to manage entries, exits, P&Ls, everything else in place. And they're replicable. So right now, we're watching the Bitcoin chart, which is in a mild uptrend as London opens up. The 8-period SMA is above the 200-period SMA. This is the long-term moving average. This is the short-term moving average. So we're right above it. And our methodology, which I just completely ignored over here, just to get us into a trade. And actually, we're going to watch this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do a better job of entry here. And in many ways, this is literally the most critical thing that I can show you in terms of trading anything. Is it's far less. I realized this yesterday when I was trading futures with guys in New York. It's far less important whether you are correct on trend most of the time than whether you're correct on location. And let me kind of explain this to you. I hope you can see this visually. So first of all, let me just get in here. Oops. All right, let me just go this way. I'm going to go on this trade. So what does location mean? So this is trend, right? Short-term moving average above long-term moving average. That's just sort of the definition of trend, right? However, and let's take a look at like the 8-period moving average. If you buy below trend, or below the moving average and sell above the moving average, if you buy at value and sell at expense, right? Location below, sell expense, you will, for the most part, have a much better. Oh shit, this is the wrong size. God damn it! Sorry, guys. I just realized I was setting stuff up here and I didn't realize that we had the wrong size. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 4, 8. So this particular thing would have already resolved. Unfortunately, I had the wrong size on here. But the bigger principle you need to understand is that it doesn't, like, I'll give you an example. Let's imagine I want to short in an uptrend, right? I think Bitcoin is topping out. If I shorted above the moving average, somewhere around here in the expensive zone, and then took it back in the cheap zone, it doesn't matter that the overall trend was up. Similarly, if the trend was below, but I bought it cheap underneath the moving average and then sold it above the moving average, it really wouldn't matter that much that I was buying in a downtrend. Like, the key thing that was incredibly interesting for me to realize yesterday was that for the most part, now this is not always true, and I'll show you examples where that could definitely get you into trouble, but it's rare. For the most part, prices move in these big waves, and it's much more important where you're located on the wave, like where you catch the wave and you ride the wave, than the actual direction of the wave itself, right? The actual direction of the wave itself certainly helps you, and it carries the overall big move up, right? I'm going to close all here just to clean up my position because I was a little bit late. But this position would have made me 20 had I had the right size. I simply just had the wrong size here because I was setting up my charts with you guys. So I'm going to reset everything again and clean this up, and you'll see how well it's trading. I actually, excuse me, this little tool. Let me see if I can change this. Let me see if it does this. Yeah, look how cool this is. This little tool will tell you, you're running P&L as well. Like, how much of my closed P&L, where I am on my closed P&L. It's 130 Bitcoin points up right now on the P&L. Do I trade the system? The question is, do I trade the system in London, pre-New York, New York, or 24 hours? I could trade this 24 hours a day. If I had nothing to do in my life, I would do this all day long, any day, everywhere, Saturday, Sunday as well. I've done it actually on Saturday and Sunday. It's a lot of fun. But I don't have the time to do this. So I only traded with you guys in London. But the system works like a rock anytime you want to do it. The basic rules of my system is I generally want to trade with trend, except when it gets super, super extremely overbought and oversold. We'll talk a little bit about what does overbought, oversold mean for Bitcoin. But more importantly, this is the much more important point that I cannot emphasize for you. It's not about the wave. It's about where you get on the wave and where you get off the wave that matters when you're scalping. If you get on underneath the wave and get out when the wave kind of crests, soars, whatever, just get out at the top of the wave. It doesn't even matter if you're trend or counter trend most of the time. That's kind of the really, really cool thing. Location, positioning is much more important on short-term trading, where we're just going for 100 points in Bitcoin, boom, 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 day in and day out. And this, by the way, is true for NASDAQ, it's true for gold, it's true for anything. Location is just much more important. Yesterday, you saw me, guys, I got like really stupid and I started shorting gold into a big uptrend. And this was during the New York session with futures. And it didn't matter. It did not matter. I made, even though I was absolutely on the wrong side of the trend, I was like counter trend trading, like because I'm an idiot, I always love to do that. Because I had this robust system and because I was catching, when I was shorting it, I was catching the top of the wave and buying it on the bottom of the wave, up and down, up and down, up and down. I totally resolved all my trades. And actually, we had a really, really good day in New York yesterday. If you guys want to join me at 9 o'clock, we'll talk about that as well. But yeah, I mean, this is, what's much, much more important and much more valuable as far as, charts go and everything else that goes in here. All right, let me see. Where's this trade? I'm just going to go full chart. Oops, full chart here. Because I want to see where, oh, okay. I was like, where's my long-term moving average? So here's an interesting point, right? We're looking at gold right now. Now, gold has been pretty much in a downtrend, right? Pretty much in a decent-looking downtrend. It went down from around 268 to around 260. It found a bottom here at around this 260 level. So gold over the last couple of days has actually been a nice big trade up, right? We on the future side, it went all the way to 2,700, right? So generally, as I'm looking at this chart right now, and I'm just looking at the basics of my indicator and stuff like that. Remember I said it's better to buy underneath if you want to be value, if you're going to be long value and you want to short above. I'm much, much more interested in buying below here. So I'm going to open up my position. Oh, algo trading is off. Let's see if this works. Okay. I'm going to be much more likely to be a buyer here. Now, here's the interesting thing. If this thing slips, I'm very confident that we're going to find some support at this 260 level. So my next tranche of my trade, if this tranche of the trade doesn't quite work, if this isn't quite, the retrace move back up to the moving average, the next tranche will work. And I'm going to resolve the whole trade that way. So same idea, but here in this case, instead of going, instead of going with a trend, I'm going counter trend, but I'm going counter trend at value. I'm going underneath the wave, underneath the short-term moving average, because I want to buy as cheap as possible. So I have the greatest possibility of resolving this. Now with gold, we trade with a 2-point target, $2 target on the short side. With Bitcoin, it's obviously $100 because it's a much more wider moving target. But the principles are all the same. I'm just basically managing, the trade positions, in this way. My take profit on this is 66. I guess this is just, oh, here it is. I'm going to tighten up my charts because they were just a little bit too wide. So you can actually see the take profit over here onto this chart. And the cool thing is, by the way, this tool is so cool. I want to show you something very interesting. What if I just, I didn't have time, or I wasn't, going to be willing to wait for the 2-point target. I could just send it to a 1-point target, and right away, without me doing anything, it automatically changes everything in MetaTrader to a 1-point target. All I got to do is just put my cursor on this tool, hit enter, and see how much faster it is to change stops and targets this way than to be able to, go to MetaTrader, change the stop and targets and do all that stuff. This is what makes my whole trading system so possible, is because I can do lightning fast entries, lightning fast exits, exit everything at once, exit one lot at once, have all sorts of flexibility in terms of, structure and everything else in order to be able to manage the position as is. So like right now, just, let's see, for shits and giggles, it's 96, it's 95. It came within four ticks of my trade. Now the other thing is, what if I just, can I just manually close this just to show you? Yes, I can. And I close it at, at 0.85. You see how fast that was? The whole trade is done. I simply hit the reset, and now we're back in business. And if I want to reset myself back up to a $2 target, I'm done. So here's 3 or 4 really quick trades in all of our instruments, all pretty much resolved nicely into our position, right? And let's go back to Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin. Let's go. Bitcoin seems to be, I didn't buy it at value. I should have bought it right over here at value. I chased it up a little bit, but here's a good example of, hopefully I won't get into trouble, but if I get into trouble and Bitcoin starts to come down towards the moving average support, I'm going to show you how I'm going to try to resolve that particular trade at where it is. But the key idea here is you take small profits over and over and over again at very tactical points using all of these tools and techniques. All of them, by the way, totally available to you. And yeah, Green Hippo said he did. Green Hippo, did you take it for 110 pips in what? Were you trading Bitcoin yesterday? Because I wasn't trading. I only traded Bitcoin with you guys Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But you were trading New York. What instrument were you trading in New York with me? Was it gold? Oh, maybe it was gold. Yeah, gold was really, really great yesterday. Yes, I'm totally down for trading gold. Yeah. Gold is so much fun. Bitcoin is the funnest. Gold is the second funnest right now, in my opinion. Indices are kind of dead. We can look at indices. So this is the final thing. Now this is MetaTrader 4, just to show you that I can do the exact same thing on MetaTrader 4 as I can do on MetaTrader 5. Let me just lay out the positions. So this is MetaTrader 4. With MetaTrader 4, we're going to go for 10 point targets, because that's what we do in our futures condition. I'm going to reset this for you. I'm going to show you how I reset this whole thing into my dashboard. Oops, 10-point target. Actually, I'm looking at this thing right now. Do I want to trade this? So you see how choppy this is. Now, by the way, this is the thing about NASDAQ. I'm going to sell this just to prove my point. I'm going to sell NASDAQ right now, because what you see here in indices, especially, is how everything is just super choppy. It's just, there is no trend here. So in this particular condition, it's even more important to sell the top of the wave and buy the bottom of the wave, right? Because then you're almost certain that you're going to be oscillating. You don't even have any kind of trend support in this thing. It's just, dead, right? So now I sold this thing on my first entry. If it starts to skyrocket against me, I'll be happy to try to fight against it at 2 lot, and then 4 lot, and then 8 lot if we need be, and then larger. Oops, this one doesn't have the stops, 100, 200. So the important point is to have the whole dashboard pre-set up for yourself before you start trading, but doesn't matter. So you see the price action in NASDAQ is so tight that 10 points is something that hasn't done in about an hour. So let's say I wanted to just, because I'm not going to be watching the screen, I'm going to watch Bitcoin with you. Now I set this to 5 points. And if it hits me 5 points, great. If it doesn't, we'll go back to it and work out on it a little bit later. So here we are in Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, I bought in the wrong location just to kind of get myself into trouble. I bought above the wave instead of below the wave, right? So now I'm a little bit down on Bitcoin. Now I'm going to be a little bit patient, because now I really, really need it to come down like probably mid-wave in order for me to to want to do to the second tranche, right? The whole idea is you don't want to, when you're doing tranche investing like I do, when you're doing tranche trading, you don't want a tiny amount of space between your entries. You actually want really, really wide amount of space between your entries, because you want your second tranche or your third tranche to start working for you right away, and it start making positive profit for you right away, because that positive profit will very, very quickly offset any negative profit in the first tranche and allow you to resolve the whole trade in a positive manner, right? So that's kind of like the key thing. One of the things that I look for now, you can see this on MetaTrader, but I'll show it to you on on TradingView, where you really, really can see this. So you see, one of the cool things about this little tool is it also counts down the seconds. Now, I know the screen is a little bit small, so some of you guys may not be able to see this quite, in full Technicolor as you should. But you should be able to see what I do now is sort of like my second or third technique that I like to use is, if I'm going to go into my second tranche, right, I'm not going to commit to a position until I get a green candle, until I get just an inkling of an idea that I'm below the wave, but they've found a little bit of buyers. Doesn't mean that this is the bottom in any way, shape, or form, but at least it gives me a sense. What this helps me avoid is buying blindly when it goes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles red, and it gets me at a little bit of a better position. So I got 25, 24 seconds left, and so far the candle is holding green. And if it does, as a matter of fact, by the way, what's really cool is I don't even have to worry about this. In this particular structure, watch what I just did. This little tool over here will say buy only if the candle closes green. So now it's going to, let's see if it's going to execute for me. You're going to see something really, really cool. Watch this. Boom. See how that did? See, the tool presets itself, so I don't have to worry about buying a non-green candle. So now, now I'm in tranche 2 at a green candle with this kind of tool. This, by the way, this is a function unique only to MetaTrader, which is why trading this with MetaTrader is super cool. The spreads are very, very high on Bitcoin. Correct, Sam. This is actually the tightest. These are actually the single best spreads. But what I want you to understand, and this is it's a great question, right? Wait, hold on. Where the spread? Right. The spreads are very tight, but here's the very cool thing. Spreads on Bitcoin are 30, sometimes 35 points wide, right? We're trading for 100, so we have to make like 130 anytime we want our Bitcoin positions to work, right? That's, by the way, why we have these these very large 1,000-point stops, because we just don't want the we don't want the intra candle movement to just endlessly stop us out. We could do it, and we could come back with larger size and larger size, but it's just a waste of capital to keep doing it this way. So what we've done is we've kind of spread out a really, really wide kind of emergency stop, and then we work within that zone and that region to try to resolve it. But as wide as they are, they move super fast. You already saw I've made four times since we started. I already made 100 points in Bitcoin, 100 points in Bitcoin over and over and over again, because it moves 1,000 points in a matter of minutes, right? So it doesn't matter how wide the spreads are. What we're looking for is actual movement. If we can catch that movement, we can work with any spreads possible. And these are, by the way, the best spreads you're going to find. Like, most spreads are wider than this. So if you're going to scalp, you want to do it with my friends at ACAP. I just want to put a link for you guys. Those of you, I know some of you already have an account with ACAP, and some of you already have the tool. But if you don't, be sure to open an account with them. If you open an account with them for as little as $500, this tool is yours forever, along with the indicator and everything else you need in order to be able to trade this. And you can trade this for Bitcoin, for gold, for NASDAQ, for whatever you want, right? So, here we are in gold, right? And I had scalped this underneath here, right, on the value proposition. and I'm actually going to do it again. I'm going to go buy again. I'm basically making a bet here as I'm looking at the chart that it's a little bit more of a counter trend trade right now than it is a full trend trade. And if it does go down into the 60s, comes back down to test support over here, I'm very, very confident that it's going to bounce around this level or perhaps maybe a little bit underneath it. And my whole tranche approach to trading will help me resolve it, right? So, I'm generally much more of a counter trend trader than I am a trend trader. That's been my either weakness or strength, depending on how you look at it. But it's really neither. It's just my personality. You can absolutely do the exact opposite of what I do and trade only trend. But again, if the key thing isn't whether you trade trend or counter trend, it's where you get into trend. It's where you get into counter trend that matters much more. It's location much more than trend that matters, in my opinion, as far as trading goes, because that's when you put the odds in your favor on the ability to manage the position. In Nasdaq, we're actually negative trend. Nasdaq is sort of really, really flat. You can see if we go to the trend. I mean, Nasdaq, look at this. Nasdaq hasn't moved at all. It's just been dead. Right? This is the short-term moving average. This is the long-term moving average. It's just kind of been consolidating right over here, and with a little bit of a tilt to the downside. And I'm actually short this thing. But if it starts to pop up, I'll be happy to tackle to fight this market as long as I get the right positions in everything. Let's come back out of Nasdaq and go back to see what Bitcoin is doing. All right, so Bitcoin is slipping a little bit towards this support around this 97 level. Now, Bitcoin overall has just generally been weaker over the last couple of days, right? If you look at Bitcoin on a longer term basis, and this is where we can start looking, I can take you away from a MetaTrader for a second and just show you the trading view indicator. The trading view indicator is a much more sophisticated indicator because I'm able to write a lot more code on it. And it uses the same thing. Here's the 200 period SMA, here's the 100 period SMA, but here it has really, really clear reversal labels. These are sell labels in an uptrend, right? Sell labels in an uptrend, reversal labels. And these are actual green triangles that show you the buy entry points, that show you, the entry points are where you want to be. So if you were trading, Bitcoin to the uptrend, every one of these little green triangles would have been a great entry, right? Because look where they are. They are underneath the short-term moving average. You're buying them in the value territory. You're buying them under the wave to some above the wave, under the wave to some above the wave. If you keep doing that, you're going to be doing great. Now, on top of that, everything else, the indicator on TradingView also gives you counter trend signals during the kind of an exhaustion move. Now, in this particular case, the way we define overbought or oversold conditions is when the moving averages are at least 21 basis points, about 0.2% separated, right? Wide. A basis point is 1/100th to 1%. 100 basis points is 1%. So this is like a fifth of 1%. If the separation between the blue and the red is a fifth of 1% or greater, that's kind of like where we're looking to see an oversold condition. Now this is true for normal instruments like NASDAQ, like S&P, like gold. It's really not true for Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs a much wider idea. As a matter of fact, I would say we want to, and this one is actually set at the 15 level. We want to do it around 45 basis points. Like in other words, and watch, if I do this, all my sell signals kind of disappear. If I were to counter trend against the trend with really, really good high probability positioning, I want to give myself a lot wider situation because Bitcoin is a much more volatile instrument than any other instrument that anybody ever trades. And you can see that when you widen it up to about 45, the sell condition here is a much more accurate sell condition than when it's really, really tight to the moving averages. The moving averages have to have, and you see the buy conditions over here. Here's a buy condition here. Doesn't work, even at 45 because you had a big, drop over here. But if you waited and repaired, and the second buy condition over here was a much better entry, for a move. It's not like that every single one of these signals works, but it's just basically using them in conjunction of like, okay, I didn't make money on this one. I got stopped out. I'm going to wait for the next one at double the size. That's going to give you a much better entry than this one, than two of them. As a matter of fact, if I'm looking here, it's 805. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. It was like, was it 96.7? 95.7. Yeah. So this is a 1,000-point drop that I would have let go. But with the trading view indicator, you obviously can see this. And frankly, here's the good. What happened to my trading view? Sometimes, what's happening here? Oh, this is our gold position, which I liked it alongside. That's working. This is NASDAQ, which is doing nothing, and Bitcoin is starting to come down. So this is a good example of Bitcoin starting to really come down much more to its moving average support. We caught the few rallies. I took my first entry was a bad entry just to show you what would happen if I bought wrong, if I bought above the wave. How could I succeed in repairing this trade? The critical thing obviously is that you always want to trade with very, very small size. So I have ample ammunition to be able to repair these trades. And then you want to, space those entries to your justification. So like right now, we bought 6, 5. Generally, I like to buy about 200 point separations. I bought these a little bit too tight to each other. So I'm going to be a lot more patient. The support here is around 200. Maybe this thing is going to resolve actually, better, but we'll see where I'm at. You'll see what's interesting about Bitcoin is how fast it can recover its positions, and how, if you're adroit and capable, you could just totally, we'll watch this. I don't want to speak in turn because this could drift a little bit lower. But if this kind of pops even down, even above like the 5 into the 600 level, this whole position is going to turn positive for us and we'll be able to resolve it. We can watch it right now as for fun. But anyways, you love the indicator on TradingView. Yeah, the TradingView indicator is really, really good. It's very sophisticated, really, really valuable. And of course, it has its, there's just so many interesting ways of how do you apply it to Bitcoin is different to how you apply it to S&P, is different to how you apply it to NASDAQ, is different to how you apply it to gold, because the volatility parameters of each one of those instruments is quite different. So the interpretation really, becomes a lot more interesting. So here's, I want to show you, just look at this. I just want to show you, watch this. Oh, fuck, I fucked up a little bit because I was talking. But you see how the whole position nearly went positive? Like it basically went positive, right? I could have waited. I could have easily waited for more money on this thing. But I started myself in a bad position. And when in terms of I bought above the wave. I bought above the moving average, above the wave. It was just to show you how to get myself out of a position. So my whole desire right now wasn't to make money. It was just to basically make sure that this particular trade cycle just goes to scratch it out. So we scratched it out. You see how quickly I was able to scratch that out? And it's because this tool has not just the close individual chart, but close the whole account, like close all the positions on the account instantaneously. It allows me to reset everything, and I get myself back to P&L and preserve my my P&L for the day. So very, very cool tool. As I said, you guys can test it out, and most importantly, if you want the tool forever, just oops, I'm so dyslexic. I always change it around. This is the download for it. But if you want this, simply open an account with my friends at ACAP, and you'll be able to trade it with them. It's really, really useful. Oh, let's see. So Bitcoin only A third of you are trading Bitcoin. So let's end this. Let's see how many of you are trading gold, because now I'm just curious to see what everybody's doing. Because obviously our gold position was working pretty well, and now it's kind of receded. Let's just take a look at where we're at on the big chart. So yeah, I mean, I'm underneath the wave over here. We had a little bit of a move up, but not much. Gold is also just kind of chopping around, finding double, triple bottom support over here, and I'm just trying to buy underneath the wave here. And if this thing starts to crash, to the downside, I'll be happy to go tranche 2, tranche 3 if I need to resolve this trade. But for now, it's just no need for management at this point. We're just simply sitting in this position, trying to see how gold is trading. And then here is Nasdaq, and Nasdaq is just doing nothing, right? Nasdaq is so quiet, so boring. Now watch this. I want to show you something really cool. I can change this to 3. Watch this. I'm just curious. See, I changed it to 3, and boom, I'm out of it. You see how fast it was? Just this is just to showcase to you how cool it is to trade with this tool, how easy it is to scalp and lock in trades without you having to do anything, right? So here, I changed it from 10 to 5 to 3. Boom, it instantaneously, resolved my trade. Now it's probably going to go a little bit lower, but to me, indices right now are kind of very, very boring. They're not really doing anything, so we will just let them be as a trade. Okay, now here's the interesting part. Let's do this. I'm gonna go watch what I just did here. I set my candle close. It needs to be green. I'm underneath the moving average. Look at this, and I bought underneath the wave, right? A relatively decent entry underneath the wave. The short-term moving average, long-term moving average kind of compressed together, so they came to a value proposition. Generally, I always want to buy when moving averages are compressing, and then I always want to sell when they're really, really wide from each other, because the wider they are, the more likely you're going to get some mean reversion to the downside. The tighter that you are, the more likely they're going to expand a little bit as they go. It doesn't always work. That's why we have a whole methodology of how we trade in a dashboard format with lots of tranches. But generally, your first entry, you want to make it as high probability as possible, so that the next one after that don't really have to require a lot of effort to help you resolve the trade. So I came in here. Generally, as I said, Nasdaq, the Bitcoin is kind of compressing to the downside, but still has not given up its upside trend, and we'll see if it wants to. I'm almost certain that whatever it does, even if it turns to a downtrend, it's going to make some sort of a buy defense at around the 97,000 level. So I'm going to give myself plenty of opportunity to try to resolve it at that level. Excuse me. So Nasdaq now is starting to turn, towards a downtrend. I bought this where at 5, and now we are to 3. So if it comes down into the 200s, I'm going to get a second tranche over here near the support level. That's going to be sort of my second tranche, and then if it comes down below that, we'll come back again and trade again. Check it on gold. Okay, gold is doing nothing. Super quiet on gold, but gold's still holding that whole 260 level. Gold has acted pretty well over the last day or two. Bitcoin, obviously, after having taken out the 100,000, is now really consolidating around this level. It may back off over the next week or so. It will be interesting to see actually how Bitcoin trades into the Christmas season, whether it can hold the 100,000 or whether it start backing off now into the 90s. So I'll be watching it from both, the upside and the downside. If we kind of give up the 95,000 handle, I think it's very likely then going to go to 90,000 and we may want to just scalp it from the short side more than from the long side. But for now, intraday, even if it's having correction, as long as we're buying it at the right opportunities at the right levels right now. So right now, it's still not the time to buy it. It's in the 350s. Once the bid goes to around the 200s, that's when I'm going to try to establish my my second tranche position here, and see what Bitcoin wants to do. Oh wow, man, time is flying. Time is flying. We're already in there, and gold starts to break out to the upside a little bit for us. Again, same kind of a thing. Like, what if I wanted to do this to 125 just to show you? Look how cool this is in terms of, we'll see. $114, $115, $116. What's my take profit on this? $65.45, and we're done. And we're done on the gold trade. Nice, nice clean buy. Again, a couple of things here that just sort of to walk you through why I like this trade. And this was the first entry so far. I haven't even had to go into a second tranche on gold. It's all been first entries. Now, gold is in a downtrend, right? You're going to say to me, why are you buying gold? Why are you buying gold when it's a downtrend? And I'm going to tell you that it doesn't matter. That it's much more important to buy to have a location on gold than it is to have a trend on gold. So what I mean by that is, first of all, as long as I'm buying near what appears to be a relatively steady shelf of support in this 226.60 level, right? This is a 26. We had a big sell-off. We've established a little bit of support here in Europe at this level, right? And more importantly, what you're seeing here is we're making higher lows, right? We're not breaking this to the downside. All of that tells you that the downtrend has really, really calmed down. As a matter of fact, if you want to see this visually on my trading view chart, this is where gold really comes in as a shine. So let's go to trading view chart. Let's go to gold. You'll see this, and we're gonna do gold at the 15 basis points, not 45, obviously, because that's crazy on the volatility. Right. And you see how gold has all these reversal buy signals right over here, just X on reversal buy signals over here. It's telling you basically that the gold has exhausted itself on the sell side, and it's giving you some really, really nice buy entries over here. So all of these entries over here, which was in the 62 level, were all fine. And we were buying like right around here. We're buying underneath the wave. As long as I'm buying underneath the wave and selling above the wave, it doesn't matter that I'm against trend. In fact, you could make the argument that going against trend is the higher probability trade. Now, if I was trading in trend, if I wanted to trade with trend, then the only place I would be selling is at these red triangles above the wave. I would only be selling above the wave. So downtrend, but only above the short-term wave do I want to be selling, right? Hey, good morning. Good morning, Ade. So it's much more important. No, I'm trading the 1 minute chart. We're always scalping the 1 minute chart on this move. It doesn't matter. If you're a longer term trader, if you're going to do 5 minute or 10 minute, 15 minute, you're going to have far less signals. I'm just all about doing lots of different trades with you guys and having as many signals as possible to make it viable. Oops. Okay, we're now in the 280s. Let's do this. Buy. Now, if this is going to be a green candle, it's going to put me into a second tranche position, right? If it's not, it's going to just be very, very patient. The great thing about having a robot is the robot is so much more patient than you are. If you're going to get a couple more red candles here, it's not going to trigger until I get a green candle. However, we got 47 seconds. This is a green candle. It looks like it's going to work. Yeah. I wish I had bought it here while I was explaining this to you, but it doesn't matter. One way or the other, we'll get into a second tranche position. But it's really, isn't it cool? I mean, the trading view is beautiful visually. MetaTrader is very ugly visually, but it's very beautiful execution-wise, because you can create these really granular rules execution-wise in MetaTrader that are just amazing. Because like right now, I don't have to do anything. I can walk away, go get a cup of coffee, and I have full confidence that my second tranche position is going to enter at the structure that I want. Now, whether it's a wrong trade or wrong trade is immaterial. It's more important that it's correct within my process, because I'm trading my process. No single trade here is determinative of whether it's a good trade or a bad trade. It's the process itself that I believe in. I have no idea if this trade is a good trade or a bad trade, as neither does anybody else. But I do believe that sticking with my process gives me a huge edge overall in being able to manage these positions. So then, that's the cool part about this. So now we're in trade at the second tranche. We'll see how that's trades out. We'll let it be. We resolved our gold trades all nicely for the P&L here. Made a couple of points in gold over the. Let me just tell you, this thing can also keep score for you if you want it. I haven't shown it, but yeah, made 8.5 points in gold here nicely, and made a little bit of money in Nasdaq, which is doing nothing. Man, Nasdaq is literally on life support. Look how flat it is, and in a flat market. So this is the really cool thing I was going to tell you, right? In a flat market, as long as I buy above the wave, sell below the wave, buy below the wave, sell above the wave, or sell above the wave, buy below the wave, doesn't matter which way I go. In a choppy market, I'm going to win, right? I'm going to win. As long as I'm on my positional entry, I'm going to win, right? In a trend market, right? As long as I buy below the wave and sell above the wave in an uptrend, great. But what if I'm going to be in a counter trend market? Will that work? Yes, as long as the intra-wave pattern is oscillating. Like, in other words, as long as the intra-wave pattern is oscillating, even if it's in a downtrend or an uptrend, I can still counter trend my way into a proper position. So as long as I have a little bit of a rise here, if I buy here, it doesn't work. I buy more underneath the wave. Second time around, it does work, and I resolve the whole position. So the only time, I know I have basically 3 out of 4 scenarios where I am, via my process, assured of success just because of the nature of what I'm doing and the nature of price. So the only time where I don't succeed is if I have an absolute one-way market, like just the price just doesn't have any waves. It's just an avalanche, right? And you're gonna get hurt in an avalanche, and then that's what stops it for, and that's what walking away for. Sometimes you can even repair yourself in an avalanche if you get a little bit of a counter trend move against it. But if you get clipped in an avalanche, you walk away. That's the whole point. No system is 100% accurate. But if I'm 3 out of 4 scenarios accurate, and more importantly, the avalanche only happens between 5 and 10% of the time. That means 95% of the time that I'm in the market, my process is correct. And really, sort of like the most important thing for me is to identify when the avalanche has a possibility of happening, or to identify that I'm in the middle of an avalanche and then just simply get the fuck out of the way, which I sometimes very, very much do. So that's the whole point of what I do and why that works so well. Hopefully you guys understand that. Hopefully you find that interesting. Where am I on the moves here? So we're going to be quiet. I'm going to have to take this off screen and let you guys know tomorrow how the trades resolve, because I got a meeting at 5 o'clock. I got to run to. But today we made, I think, let me see how many winning trades did we make. Is this all my history? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 winning trades in Bitcoin, then all winning trades in gold, 2 winning trades in gold, and 1 winning trade in Nasdaq. So it's 6, 2, 1, 9 trades, less than 50 minutes. Not bad, right? And we still have lots of trades on the books, and if I wanted to, I could really, really trade a lot more. I mean, that's like kind of if you do 10 winning trade cycles in an hour, do that every single day, you're in great shape. You're in great shape in terms of making the the trades all work for you. So hopefully you guys liked it. Do the same thing again with you guys tomorrow. Everybody come back. Bring all your friends. Really, really bring all your friends, because this is a very unique way of trading. I think it's a very, very accessible way of trading because it doesn't require a lot of time. And it gives you some really, really great, interesting opportunities over and over and over again. So hopefully you guys really, really like this. And it looks like everybody's trading gold. So I'm glad we made money on gold. I'll absolutely trade gold with you tomorrow, and also Bitcoin as well. We'll go from there. The stream in New York will be at 9:15 today. Yes. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do London stream and a New York stream. So I'll see you guys in New York for sure. Yeah. I'll see you guys a little bit. Thank you again. Everybody enjoy. I'll see everybody then. Take care. Bye-bye.